as most of you know, there was a Democratic debate that happened last night, Saturday, November the 14th. I have to admit, I only halfway paid attention. I got busy gaming. Whoop for me, because I never have time to play a game. So it was more like background noise for me. I got to pick in on, quite a bit of it. This one, however, my little political scientist over here tweeted all the way through it, and I guess he's going to catch us up to speed on what happened.
To correct one point, I'm not little, I'm a big man.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Big man. Last night, I did watch the entire debate, and I was able to actually live tweet it. One of my very first tweets was actually, I was concerned about, they were talking about the Paris attacks and terrorism so much that with only 3 candidates up there, you knew there was not going to be any real significant difference between them. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't going to happen. You've got 3 Democrats up there, ask them a question, they're going to say pretty much the same thing. Ask 3 Republicans, you're going to get almost the same answer. It's all about, your philosophy on how to handle things. So I had seen so much of the coverage on the Paris attacks that when they were talking about it, it really was like hearing an echo chamber. It was just different words. So I was not impressed with that part of the debate. Truthfully, to me, I think that we've had 2 Democratic debates. Bernie won the first one. I said Hillary won last night, but only because she didn't trip over her words like Bernie did in O'Malley. But, a half hour after I posted that, when the debate actually ended, I have to give it probably to O'Malley.
Yeah, he did awesome.
He had his best night last night.
Yeah, he did.
With, his response, his answers.
He caught my attention. He actually made me, stop the game, made me look up from my computer and listen to what he was having to say. And I was actually fairly impressed with it. So
the only thing I didn't like about O'Malley was the fact he seems to have gone to the political school of Mitt Romney. It's so robotic. It's so, I don't want to say it's
there
forced.
was definitely that. I noticed that.
It wasn't forced, but it was so rehearsed.
It's mechanical.
Yeah, it was so rehearsed, it was just mechanical. So, but he said a couple of really good things. One of them, actually, that you were really impressed with, was he said that a mother had come up to him and said, can you please stop saying boots on the ground? My child, my son is not just boots on the ground. That's my son. That's our soldier. That's our protection.
It's my brother.
It's her brother. It was my brother. It was both of us at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I take that back. You and I have never been deployed.
That's right.
But yeah, the issue is, you can't dehumanize our military just because of what they do. O'Malley had a really good point there.
If you're going to have the power, if you're going to be commander-in-chief, if you're going to have the power to, all the nuclear codes and all of that, yeah, it would make me feel a little better if I felt like you thought of our military as people and not boots.
Yeah.
If you really want to get ahead on that and you really want to rally troop support behind you, let them know you think of them as a human. I'm very much, what O'Malley said last night really, really touched me. And, no, they're not just boots. These are people over there, and they're making sacrifices, and they're doing amazing things. And let's not forget that. Let's not undermine it or demean it.
I thought everybody was weak in the opening when they were talking about Paris. I felt they were all just saying, what the people wanted to hear. Bernie was actually really weak on that one, especially in their opening remarks, where he spoke on it and then he turned it towards, his usual stuff about fighting the billionaire class. But there was a moment in there, especially in that foreign policy conversation, where he had the most substantive comments.
What are your closing remarks, and who do you think won?
I actually think that O'Malley won. I was very, very impressed with him. He was the only person who was able to really, really grasp my attention. I half-heartedly listened to all of the debate except for when he was talking, and he got my attention on multiple different times. So for me, he absolutely won. I don't think he's going to win the nomination. And I do think that he could definitely do better on his presentation. But he had the right idea last night. It was a good night for him.
Brandon, what about you?
I liked O'Malley. I think O'Malley won last night. I really do. The debate itself,
it was flat.
It was flat.
Sorry.
I mean, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say this on camera. I prefer the Republican debates. Just because, there are differences. There are substantive differences. Not I'll spend more or I'll spend less. I guess it's just more entertaining, and that bothers me. Because I'm not a Republican. I've tried. No, I haven't. But anyway. But no, I mean, their policies, they make sense. They're, to me. But again, like we were talking about earlier, the presentation is what seals
so
the
if
deal.
all of the policies were fairly well equal to you and presentation makes the difference, who won?
Hillary,
Who won on policy?
Bernie,
Okay.
and O'Malley won with points. So, I mean, I guess that's how I would have to,
That's a pretty good breakdown.
That's a pretty good breakdown.
They're all winners, but O'Malley definitely had his best night of his campaign, at least from what I've seen, last night.
Yep.
And you, Jaysin, I'm going to reserve mine because, again, I didn't watch it all, so I don't want to give, false information, but I'm definitely going to watch it because it's important to watch, and I recommend everyone watch all the debates. Even if you gotta suffer through some of it, I definitely recommend you watch it because it's important. And those are the people who are going to be determining your future. Sorry, what did you say, Sirena?
I said don't go to the polls uneducated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And Aaron, just to make sure that you understand, if you agree with me, you'll be right. So just say I agree with Brandon.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
What about you, Jaysin?
All right, so I got a few things I want to try and touch on. Okay, so we didn't talk about the Wall Street and the campaign finance. That was a big, huge thing in the debate. And
that was probably the closest thing to fireworks I saw last night.
Yeah, that was huge, and that's what really got me into the debate. And then after that, I was just kind of like, oh. Okay.
And that was O'Malley and Bernie ganging up on Hillary about
they really, honestly, they destroyed Hillary in that moment, in that instance. That whole conversation, I don't even know how to put it. She was wrecked last night.
She was.
On that.
She had no real defense for it. I mean, they both brought up really good points against her, and she tried to defend it as, I was there on 9/11 helping the field. So, of course, they want to, show their gratitude. But at the same time, she's the one,
Yeah, that was the most disgusting part of the debate last night was when she tried to excuse her major donations being from Wall Street as she was there on 9/11. And I think that was playing into the tragedy that happened in Paris, and then try and drive that, remember what happened here, just like what happened in Paris. Remember, hey, I was there, and that didn't work. And I love that CBS News actually had pulled a question from someone, I think it was either on Twitter or Facebook.
Twitter.
And it was just saying, how could you sit up and try and justify what you did with 9/11? That's disgusting, pretty much. And that was a big moment for me. I think, onto who won, I think O'Malley surprised the hell out of me. I did not see that coming. He was in attack mode and he was ready to go, and I loved every second of what he had to say.
You think he felt like his feet were to the fire? Like
I think
something this time around.
Yeah,
it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes down to it, in some aspects, some people may see it as a tie, especially because of the Wall Street part. between O'Malley and Sanders. I think Hillary came in dead last on this one.
I do too.
Just because when that moment came, it was so poignant that I couldn't focus on anything else after that. All I kept going over is she tried to justify.
She could have crushed both of them.
Yeah, she could have crushed both, but she justified her actions with 9/11, and for me, that was absolutely disgusting. And I think, and another thing to remember is that in the polls, Bernie won again on this one. But with that, you do have to remember who Bernie's primary supporters are. They are predominantly the young vote who spend a lot of time on social media and on the internet voting. In
women love Bernie too, and women vote in a lot of those.
That was another thing that Hillary did that really bothered me.
60% of my voters are women.
Yes.
Or contributors.
60% of her supporters. Sorry, there it is.
Yeah, 60% of her supporters, contributors are women. And that's cool. When you break it down, 60% of your supporters aren't women. Most of your supporters come from Wall Street. Her top 5 contributors are banks and corporations. I actually found somebody tweeted out an actual stat on that, and like JP Morgan was one of them. So no, 60% of your women, sure, when you're focusing on those who are not corporations in Wall Street.
Well, she's saying sheer number of people who are giving to her, not the amount.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if they're donating $30, yes, that's a massive difference from $30 million, to a super PAC,
But let's take away the top contributors. That 60%, even if they're doing 30, is a very small amount. She couldn't run her campaign on 100,000 people, like she said, 100,000 people donating to her campaign. She couldn't run on that.
No, she could.
Bernie is.
It doesn't.
Bernie's running on 750,000 people supporting him and donating $30 or more to his campaign.
But who is your winner though? Who's your definite winner?
O'Malley was strong. Sanders was strong. Hillary. I guess I got to give it to O'Malley. I was really shocked and I was really surprised. I was already following Bernie Sanders on Twitter, but after this debate, I started following O'Malley as well.